By the way, we didn't really get to it, but young Dolph's murderer just got sentenced to life in jail. Life in prison. Rest in peace, young Dolph. It's a tragedy. It shouldn't have ever happened in the first place. Just as I was truly really getting into his music, not even trying to sound cool or anything. I'm not even joking. I was genuinely so into his music at the time that he passed. It was shocking, and not just to me, but to the rest of the hip hop community. But this little fuck here, he just got life in prison. So that's good news. Jury finds Justin Johnson guilty of first-degree murder, conspiracy, and killing of Memphis rapper Young Dolph, sentenced to life in prison. So yeah, he was shot right outside of Makita's Cookies on Airways Boulevard on November 17th, 2021. Incredible to think that was 3 years ago now. He was found guilty of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and felon in possession of a firearm. So he was already a felon. Shelby County Criminal Court Judge Jennifer Mitchell immediately sentenced Johnson to life in prison after the verdict was read. Beginning just after noon Thursday, September 26, 2024, the jury took just under 4 hours to deliberate Johnson's fate. After the 3 days of testimony and then closing arguments on the fourth day, Johnson did not take the stand in his own defense. After the verdict, Dolph's sister, Carlissa Thornton, read a statement to the media. On November 17, 2021, our lives changed forever. A son, a father, a brother, a friend, a businessman, a music artist, a philanthropist, and life partner are among just some of the titles that my brother Adolph Robert Thornton Jr. held. Titles that have now left a missing piece in the lives of so many. I want to thank the jury for their service and decision in this case to bring us one step closer to justice for our family, friends, supporters, and the community that has supported us during this time. She went on to thank the DA's office, Memphis police, and investigators for their work. We realize this act of violence has impacted so many outside of our family and friends. Your outpouring of love and support throughout this process does not go unnoticed. We ask that instead of focusing on those who committed this crime, you focus on that man that Adolph Robert Thornton was. Regardless of the name that you may know him as, such as Adolph, Dolph, or Young Dolph, we ask you to remember the man that enjoyed being a father and spending time with his family. We ask that you remember the man who enjoyed giving opportunities to those who were often overlooked and counted out. We ask that you remember the man who enjoyed giving back to others and being an inspiration to those who come from less than ideal backgrounds and knowing that they are seen and can change their outcomes and the lives of others by doing something positive. We will continue to heal and keep Adolph's legacy alive. Carlissa Thornton also asked the public to respect the privacy as the cases continue against the other men charged. Maya J., Young Dolph's partner, posted the statement after the verdict. Today's verdict brings relief and restores my confidence in the justice system. On behalf of my children, family, and myself, I would like to thank law enforcement, the prosecution, and everyone involved for their diligent work in presenting the facts that led to this conviction. We are also grateful to the public for standing with us and advocating for accountability throughout this process. The past 3 years, marked by the loss of Adolph and the events leading to the trial, have been incredibly frustrating. My faith has been tested, but Adolph's tragic execution has only strengthened my resolve to fight for justice. Not only for him, but for all black men. This is just the beginning of our journey toward achieving full justice for Adolph, and we will patiently support the unfolding of the process. Yeah, I mean, I will never forget where I was when I first read the news. I was in a job training in Houston for a week with people I had never met before, and I'm sitting in this classroom scrolling my phone, and I see that news that young Dolph passed away, and I turn around to the closest people. I was like, "You guys know young Dolph?" And one dude knew who he was. And I was kind of able to connect with him on it. But yeah, it really fucking sucked because I had been listening to his music for the last year, 2020 to 2021 when I really started to listen to him, and then he passed away. He's still, to this day, and probably for the rest of hip-hop eternity, has one of the strongest voices in hip-hop. Next to fucking Fat Man Scoop, who also passed away. So yeah, I mean, Young Dolph, one of the most recognizable, one of the strongest and most powerful, literal voices, the vocal tone and chords and octaves of his voice, they cut through fucking everything, dude. So impactful. So if you haven't listened to Young Dolph, go listen to his music. You're gonna like it. You're going to like it if you're a hip hop head. Let's continue. Oh yeah, I think we painted a real clear picture of before, during, and after the murder, said Shelby County Deputy District Attorney Paul Hagerman after the verdict. The investigation did a fabulous job of highlighting all three of those times and answering a lot of questions that In a lot of murder cases, you never get answered. Shelby County District Attorney General Steve Mulroy released the following statement after the verdict: "Every murder is a tragedy, and we take them all seriously. This one generated extra public interest because young Dolph was a prominent and beloved member of the community. We will continue to fight hard to make sure that all of those responsible for his death are brought to justice." Side note here, fuck gun violence. And honestly, just like fuck guns. Fuck semi-automatic killing machines, death machines that are on the streets. Fuck those. Fuck the fact that they're legal. One of the biggest missteps our founding fathers took. Quite possibly the biggest misstep they took. That's a personal opinion, though. And this is why I have these opinions. Dude, my favorite rappers are fucking dying. So sorry I have these opinions. Sorry, bro. Like, no. It's deeper than that. We have children dying in schools. If that's not enough to wake your ass up about the gun violence, to wake your ass up about how the fuck we do something about this, then I don't know what is. But, for those of us sane people who see the children dying in schools in our own country, in our backyards, enough is enough. So, anyways, it's not 1981 anymore, said Assistant District Attorney ADA Iris Williams during the closing arguments before deliberations. It's hard to keep a secret. It's hard to hide who you're talking to. It's harder to hide your actions. And it's even harder to hide who you know. Yeah, thank God it's not 1981 anymore. I would have, I think I'm going crazy in 2024. Imagine how I would have felt in the 80s. Where nobody gave a fuck and nobody was held accountable for anything. Justin Johnson was charged with conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and being a convicted felon in possession of a firearm in the death of the Memphis rapper, whose real name is Adolph Thornton Jr. He didn't kill Adolph Thornton Jr. He didn't conspire to kill Adolph Thornton Jr., said defense attorney Luke Evans during closing, and he wasn't the man holding the pistol in the Makita video. Oh, so there's a video of the murderer? My God, I didn't know that. Johnson was the only one on trial during the week and pleaded not guilty. Cornelia Smith, also charged with first-degree murder for killing Dolph, testified against Johnson and admitted to killing Dolph on the first day. So he didn't actually pull the trigger. Earlier, like 10 minutes ago, I said that this is the man that pulled the trigger, but it looks like that's not the case. And now I'm remembering this name, Cornelia Smith. So now we're going back in time a bit. Oh, this was published September 24th. 3 days ago. Day 1 of the trial of the murder of Memphis rapper Young Dolph featured testimony from a man who admitted to pulling the trigger in the shooting that claimed his life. So the trial started 3 days ago. This was the first day of trial. Cornelia Smith is the one who pulled the trigger, not Justin Johnson. Cornelia Smith was brought in to testify against Justin Johnson, currently standing trial in the Young Dolph murder, facing charges including first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Shelby County Assistant District Attorney Paul Hagerman told the jury Smith would admit to the killing and be able to verify video evidence of Johnson's whereabouts that day. Defense attorney Luke Evans, representing Johnson, claimed the jury should not trust Smith, saying he told his family he didn't kill Dolph. "I didn't do it. I'm just saying what I got to say to get myself home," Evans said, reading from a letter he said it was written by Smith to his family. "I didn't do it. I'm just saying what I gotta say to get myself home." Okay, but that could have been planted, the lawyer could have told him to write that. It doesn't mean anything. Look at what he said to his family. Like, as if people don't lie to their families. Like, come on, dude, what the fuck does this mean? When Smith took the stand, he identified both himself and Johnson in the video where Dolph was shot. "That's a photo of me and Justin shooting at Dolph," Smith said. Just the callousness of this is just disturbing. "That's a photo of me and Justin running away from the shooting after we got done shooting Dolph." He also ID'd Johnson wearing the same clothes as he did during the shooting in a surveillance video from the apartment complex where Smith said they went to change cleanup after the shooting. As well as several other locations. Smith said he met with Quet, Hernandez Govin, and Big Juke, Anthony Mims, who Smith said put out a $100,000 hit on Young Dolph. Govin paired Smith with Johnson for the shooting. Smith testified that the day they caught Dolph, it was his daughter's birthday. "You wouldn't kill a man on your daughter's birthday?" asked Evans during the cross-examination. "I'm trying to make it rain for her," replied Smith. "I wanted to make a beautiful day for her." Oh, I'm speechless. These people are devil monsters. Like, cool. "I'm trying to make it rain for her. I wanted a beautiful day for her." When Evan asked about Smith telling one woman about buying a house for her and such, Smith said he was playing a game. Smith testified he talked with Govin about $10,000 each for he and Johnson for the hit when Evan asked. So this is about $10,000. I'm trying to make it rain for her. I want to buy a house. So I'm going to kill Dolph for $10,000? I mean, are these people even like mentally there? This sounds like psychotic behavior. Like, not even psychotic. This sounds like just mentally lacking decision making. Smith testified he talked with Govan about $10,000 each for he and Johnson for the hit. When Evans asked why Smith told the police later, I think Johnson got the same deal, Smith replied he was saying the same thing now. Smith said he was only paid $800 of the money that was promised to him before his arrest in January 2022. When asked about the money paid to kill young Dolph, Smith testified his conscience bothered him after the fact. Oh no! After the fact. His conscience bothered him after the fact. Okay. Who cares? This is so sad, dude. This is a murder case. People playing with life like it's fucking Sims. Excuse me for not understanding that. I'm sorry. Call me out of touch. Call me. You know, people will be like, you don't get why his friends have to hold the blicky, bro. They don't want his friends to turn on. You don't get why this man has to kill, bro. He's got to put food on his other's plate. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not taking any of that bullshit. I don't get the streets. I don't get the game. I don't get it, bro. You know what I don't get? Playing with life as if it's meaningless, as if it doesn't matter, as if beefs are a reason to take somebody's life. This is sick, and obviously people know that. I'm not saying anything that's revolutionary here, but people do like to say, man, if you were in the game, you would get it, bro, but since you're so far removed from it, bro, you don't get why they gotta do it. No, save it, dude. Save it. Save it. Save it. Save it. Save it. I get it. I get it. I get it. Still doesn't make sense. It still doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know, whether, you don't get it, bro. The blicky. You gotta have the blicky. You gotta have the strap. Fuck that, dude. I'll carry a knife. How about that? Real motherfuckers carry knives, dude. That's a crazy, crazy thing that the dude that got life in jail didn't even pull the trigger. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying, like, I thought that he was the dude that pulled the trigger. No, this was just the dude that sent out the hit. And I exited out of this article, but I need to go back to it. He was paid $800 of the money. When asked about the money paid to kill young Dolph, Smith testified his conscience bothered him after the fact. Smith also testified he did not have knowledge of Johnson getting paid for the shooting. Smith testified he received a letter from Johnson telling Smith to cut him, Johnson, loose and take the fall. Evans also asked about who wiped the car down, and Smith testified he wiped the car down, but that Johnson had also said he had the car wiped down. Evans responded that Smith never told law enforcement he wiped the car down. Smith said it's hard to keep up with the details and that he answered the questions police asked. I've been telling the truth all the time, all along, said Smith. When asked about whether he was getting any consideration for testifying, Smith replied, I'm going to jail anyway. I can get it off my chest. It's my best out, to be honest, to be truthful. And that's your best in and out, by the way. If you're ever in a situation like God forbid, dude, fuck this website, it won't let me highlight. He said here, it's my best out, to be honest, to be truthful. Bruh, that was your best in and that was your best out. Honesty is key. Honesty is key. Truth is key. Folks, when you have truth on your side, there is no reason to be nervous. There is no reason to not have faith. When you have truth on your side, it doesn't matter what your opinion is on the situation. You need to follow the facts. You need to follow the truth. And that's all that matters. Things will fall into place for you. And it keeps you from having to worry so much when you're telling the truth. It's just the best way to go. It's really the only way to go. I encourage you to become a bad liar. I encourage you to work at being a worse liar. Has anybody ever encouraged you to become worse at something? Well, I am right now. Let this be something different. Become a worse liar. It'll benefit you in the end. Become honest. Laugh at yourself. Learn how to laugh at yourself. I'm not saying I'm great at this. I'm just saying it has always benefited me when I approach life with honesty. And, you have to tackle things head on. That's what I value, and that's what I appreciate. I'm not saying I'm the best at it, but that's what I strive for. How did we get here? Oh, shit. Weren't we supposed to be listening to new music like an hour ago? Yeah, so this man, he's getting life in prison. He didn't even pull the trigger. It's a good thing, though. He called the shots. But the man that did pull the trigger, it sounds like, is not getting jail time, which, he might get jail time. It's still being deliberated. Key evidence against Johnson came when Hagerman had a former Memphis police investigator explain how his team determined Johnson to be a suspect by using video and photo evidence. The evidence depicted a man whom investigators believed to be Johnson at key locations before and after the murder, presumably preparing before the crime and then cleaning up afterwards. I mean, this is like so disturbing and so premeditated and so... I mean, I'm reading it and the murder doc is just playing in my mind of the psychopath killer who's premeditating and like cleaning their weapons afterwards and shit. You want to come downstairs? Come on, baby. Me and Jude are having a party down here. You want to come party? Lagunas! Hi! The prosecution rested its case on the third day of trial. On the same day, the defense asked for an acquittal, claiming prosecutors failed to make their case. Nice try, buddy. The motion to acquit following a prosecution case is a common tactic during criminal trials. In this case, defense attorney Luke Evans presented a motion to acquit on all indicted charges, claiming the state failed to present sufficient evidence, especially on the conspiracy charge. In relation to Justin Johnson, the judge denied the motion. Thank God. We love a judge with some sense. Johnson's attorney Luke Evans said he had anticipated Hernandez Govin, the prosecutors said ordered the hit on young Dolph, would testify as well. However, Govin never took the stand. Court dates originally scheduled for Smith and Govin for September 30th were reset after the verdict. Smith will appear November 15th and Govin is due back for a hearing October 9. Johnson and Smith were originally set to head to trial June 3rd, 24, but in May, the DA's office of the defense counsel asked for more time for everyone's excerpts to review information, and prosecutors agreed. The trial was reset previously from March 11 to June 3rd, 24. Judge Jennifer J. Mitchell took over the case after the Tennessee Court of Criminal Appeals ordered Judge Lee Coffey to recuse himself from the young Dolph case. It's a cool last name. Coffey. My last name could be Coffey. I mean, my last name is Kaufman. So it's actually pretty close. This all comes after a Shelby County judge has granted a motion for a change of venue for the trial in February. Why? A change of venue for the trial? Oh, I'm not reading all that. That meant an outside jury is being brought into Shelby County to hear the case. Okay, so sure. Fuck it. And if that's what change of venue means, is to bring the jury in from somewhere else, then surely that's fair in any trial. I mean, yeah, any trial. I don't know. Every trial is different. But still, I mean, that makes sense. You want a jury from outside the county that doesn't know about young Dolph and his influence. Although, that's the victim. What are we talking about here? The man is dead. So, you know, at this point, we're just talking about who put out the hit. So maybe these men are infamous in their county, I'm sure. And they don't want any bias in that direction. Oh yeah, because the case received heavy media attention in that county, so everybody's going to know about it there. It makes sense. Young Dolph, whose real name was Adolph Thornton Jr., was fatally shot at Makita's Cookies on Airways Boulevard on November 17, 2021. Police said at the time 2 men got out of a stolen Mercedes-Benz and fired shots into Makita's homemade cookies where young Dolph was making a purchase. Yeah, to get killed at a cookie shop is just like so sad. You want me to take it off? Do you want to put it on? Okay. You don't have to put it on. What? I'm putting it on me. I really want to put it on you, but I won't. I was watching this video of the shooting. I mean, I don't know if YouTube likes that kind of shit. Probably not. But yeah, man, it's so sad what happened to Dolph. I mean, it's been 3 years, so. But yeah. Another suspect, Jamarcus Johnson, pleaded guilty to 3 counts of accessory after the fact in October 23, and he faces 6 to 12 years in jail. He is Justin Johnson's half-brother and testified against Justin. Here's Mamala. Okay, so that's the end of that. Rest in peace, young Dolph. I hope they continue to find justice for young Dolph wherever they can.